Okay, so we're going to take our first major long road trip with this Tesla. So this is, just to refresh your memory, this is a 2021 Tesla Model Y long range with the 20-inch induction rims. And we are going from Austin all the way over to Baton Rouge for work. Baton Rouge is saying, the GPS is saying 378 miles. I don't know if that's as the crow flies or whatever, but 378 miles. And I've got 100% charge, well, 99 now. And we're going to see how many stops it takes us. Okay, so Baton Rouge, we're going to hit go. I don't know what hotel I'm staying at. Okay, so we are going from the Round Rock area. It's calculating. Going all the way over there. And so we got 3 stops, it's saying. One in Houston, one in Beaumont, and one in Iowa, I think. Yes, Houston, Beaumont, and Iowa. We got a 10-minute charge, a 12-minute charge, and a 21-minute charge. And then that should get us to Baton Rouge with about 10%. Of course, I'll probably maybe stop one more time, maybe in Lafayette, just to give me a little extra juice, top up 5 minutes, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do is we are going to go here, and we're going to go to our trip. Here's our trips, and we're going to reset trip B. That's my trip A is how long I've owned the car, which that's not true because I've got like 2,500 miles on it since then. So we're going to hit reset, okay, and we're going to track this all the way through. So let's get ready for a long trip. Right now it is saying a total of we'll get there around 10:18 according to this. We're leaving at 3:12, so 7 hours. We'll see. Okay, so it is saying we will get to Houston's charger with 19%. I really think we're going to drop down to almost 10% on this. I might be wrong, but this car is not as efficient as I was hoping. That's the only downside to this car. But it does charge a lot faster than my old Model S. So on we go. Okay, so just to kind of give you an update, I went ahead and rerouted to the Buc-ee's in Baytown, which is probably about 20 miles east of downtown Houston. It said I'd get there, downtown Houston, at 22%. I went ahead and just changed it and see what it would do. Baytown and Buc-ee's would get me there with 11%. So I'm like, hey, that's good. If I can get there with 11, 10, 5%, I'm good. Because then I should be able to hopscotch Beaumont, maybe get to Sulphur, Lake Charles, or maybe even all the way to Iowa, depending on how long I charge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bypass downtown Houston and get to the Buc-ee's, as long as my range stays in the positive. Now, I'm not babying this. I mean, I'm going 74 right now. I've got the AC on low. Fan is at 7 because, it's 98 degrees outside. So if I have it down below 5, it gets very warm here. So I've got the roof cover on there to try to cut down heat. I don't know how well that does, but I think it does pretty good. And so anyway, that's where we are. We're going to head to Buc-ee's in Baytown, and we're going to skip downtown Houston, which is kind of disappointing. I've never been to that one, but there's always the next trip. So I'll keep you an update. Oh, we just dropped down 10% there. So, but I'm okay with that. Again, if it drops down to 5%, I'm okay with that. So, okay, here we go. Okay, so we are an hour into the trip. We are at 72%, and we have used, let me see, let's go to trip. Where's the trip? There, trippy. We have used 16.6 kilowatts. We're averaging 296 watt hours per mile. So not bad. That's really, really good on this car. I'll do the calculations later. And I've been completely driving myself. I have not been on FSD. I have not been on autopilot. And the main reason is when you go, especially on this section here, as soon as we get off of when we get into the interstate system, I'll go ahead and activate it. But you go through a whole bunch of small little towns between Austin and Houston on 290, and it has a tendency not to slow down in these small towns. Some of these small towns are like 55, 40, and the car will just still keep going like at 60 and 65 and 70 and 75. And it's like, no, you got to slow down or I'm going to get a ticket. I know I can adjust the speed on on the scroll wheel and make it go down lower. But one, I shouldn't have to. Two, I have done that several times, and all of a sudden it jumps back up to 85 miles an hour. Because I'm scrolling and it's registering the scroll, and then it doesn't like it, so it goes back up. So I kind of keep this, this first section of trip. It's about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. I do the manual driving myself, or the driving myself. And then once I get in the interstate system, I'll turn it on. If I'm not in a hurry, which I'm really not in a hurry today. I mean, I've got a 7-hour trip. There's no way to slice it or dice it that it won't be in a 7-hour trip. And it is what it is. So update on the range. So right now it's saying we will get to Buc-ee's Supercharger at 6 p.m. We'll get there with 9%. And, I feel comfortable with that. I don't have a problem with that. And we've still got another 118 miles. So this first leg, I charged up to 100, which I don't typically ever charge up to 100 except for these really, really long road trips. The max I've charged up on this car is 90% when I go to Houston for work, in the morning, because I don't really want to stop, but, I do. So anyway, so here's to the next hour. Yay! Okay, I have officially turned on FSD. The car, I want to try to drive most of the way, since now I'm on interstate systems on FSD. So I'll tell you how many disengagements I have between, I think every stop, I'll tell you how many disengagements are gone. So right now we're on a section of road that speed limit's 65 and it's going 68. So it's going, you know, two above or three above. My only concern is I'm going to get run over. So, because sometimes if you're going 73, you're still getting passed up. But hey, we're going to trust the car here. Okay, so we've been on FST for about an hour now. We're going through Houston. Um, it chose a route I wouldn't have chose. I don't like going 610 north, because the the interchange at 45 is weird. Uh, and there's usually a little bit more traffic at this location, which I'm about to hit. But hey, the car's driving me, so we'll let the car go and see what happens. Okay, we're coming into Baytown, about to exit for Bucky's. Car is still driving itself. I am not touching the wheel. I have not touched the wheel since Hempstead. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. Traffic's always bad around here. Let's see, we got a truck right here. What is it going to do? What's the car going to do? Now turn right. Truck's letting me in. Thank you, truck. Okay, I took over because the car was getting really close to this other car as he was making the turn. And yes, I call my car he. Okay, so we are here, and we just got here with 14%. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we are charging, ramping up, 160. 50 minutes to remain. I don't think so, because we still have it set as 100, so we're not going to do 100. We're going to back down to 80. Okay, there we go. Ooh, look, we're getting about 215. It's also, 216. Okay, let's see where our next charging stop is. So if we do Baton Rouge again, okay, wants us to stop in Sulphur for 22 minutes and then all the way to Baton Rouge, right? Yep, that's the way it's looking. Awesome. So we'll see if we do that. Again, we might stop in Lafayette and do that. So right now we'll go ahead and do this. Saying estimated charge time of 13 minutes. I mean, coming from my Model S, that's just awesome. So anyway, I'm going to run into Bucky's, get some snacks, and I'll see you later. Okay, so we are kind of past charging, but I had to book a hotel room. I hadn't booked that yet. So, booked a hotel room in Baton Rouge that has charging, hopefully. And, you know, we'll see what we get when we get there. Saying we need to stop in Sulphur. We'll get there with 26%. We'll see if we want to press it and see if there's another location that we can press it to, get a little lower in the pack. Um, but that's the only other stop we need to make. So I think that's pretty good. So anyway, let's get on the road. So it's saying I'll get there with 27% to to Sulphur, and which isn't bad. I mean, I kind of overcharged a little bit because, like I said, I had to book a hotel room. But I'm wondering if I should go ahead and skip Sulphur and jump over to Iowa, which is like another 30 miles. Um, get lower in the pack so that way it charges faster. And then that might be able to, I mean, right now it's saying charge for 22 minutes of Sulphur and I get all the way to Baton Rouge with 10%. If I skip over Sulphur, go to Iowa, and then go to do a deeper charge, I might just go ahead and skip over Lafayette and get all the way to Baton Rouge. I mean, two charges all the way from Austin to here. I mean, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. My car would have never done it. Uh, I know one time I went to Lake Charles from Austin in my car. I stopped in Buc-ee's in Waller, charged, got to Buc-ee's in Baytown and charged, and then got to Lake Charles uh, and charged there. And I was pretty low in the pack, you know, by the time I got to Lake Charles. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll see if I want to go ahead and skip and play with the numbers. I know I can get to Iowa probably with maybe 17%. Or right now it's saying 26%. So maybe 16%, 15%. Again, I'm good with that as long as I can get to, within 5%. So I'll let you know what I decide. Okay, we're gonna hit stop. We're gonna go to navigate, chargers. Come on, chargers. There we go. Zoom out here. What are we looking at? Lake Charles, Lafayette. Go to Iowa and let's see what this one is. Okay, so if I go to Iowa, I'm looking at 15%. I think that's the way I'm going to go. Skip over Sulphur and go to Iowa, which is actually pretty good because originally it had me stop in Houston, then Beaumont, then Iowa. Uh, and so I'm skipping over Beaumont. I've got one charge, um, and so I've eliminated one extra charge, skipped over another one, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do. yeah, it took a few minutes to stop and see the scenery. And if you can see right over here, that's an alligator. So, yeah, there's live alligators around here. So, like the sign said, don't feed them. Okay, back on the road. Do I have cell phone connection? So, I remember when this used to be like an old plantation type house. It was really cool, but I think it was very old, so they tore it down and built a new one. Okay, we got about 45 minutes. See, this is the part of the trip I hate when it gets dark. Now, right now it's not bad. We got a pretty sunset right behind us. You can probably see that. Um, but it's getting dusk. It's getting dark, and after it gets dark, it gets boring. There's nothing to see. It's just highway. You can see some stuff off to the side, but that's about it. Uh, so yeah, the boring part is coming up. Luckily, I think I've only got about 2 hours left, so uh, not too bad. Got most of the trip. We are in hour. Let's see, it's 8:04. We left at 3:12. So we're 5 hours into the trip. Normally, this would take a 7-hour trip with a gas car. Um, Probably 30, 45 minutes longer. Golly, these roads are horrible in Louisiana. Uh, 30, 45 minutes, you know, extra in an EV, or at least this EV. If you had a Lucid, probably less. Probably wouldn't even have to stop. But anyway, the drive's going to get boring after this. I got to find a podcast to listen to. But since the car is doing all the driving, just sit back and relax. Hopefully, we get out of this construction zone. I wonder on the way back, is there a way I can bypass Lake Charles altogether? So we got construction, right lane's closed. Uh, I don't know if that's on the bridge or on the road or what. I don't know. Anyway, so we're just going slow in traffic. This is where autopilot and FSD is really nice because it does all the work for you. Ooh, that was actually pretty good. If I had stopped in Sulphur to charge, that means this whole part of the bridge would have been closed, which would have been even more of a backup. So, whew, glad I didn't stop. Okay, second and possibly last charging stop. And it's passing. It says enter only, so okay. Maybe it knows. Nope. I don't know where it was trying to go. Okay. Now you have arrived at your destination. What the hell? Okay, so we are here. Let's take a look at our trip. There's our trip. Okay, so far we have gone 320 miles. We've used 89.9 kilowatts, and we're averaging 280 watts per mile. I think that's almost 4 miles per kilowatt. Since the last charge, we are looking at 139 miles and again 284. That's not bad. So let's get plugged up and hopefully get all the way all the way to Baton Rouge. Okay, we are charged. It says we have enough to get to the hotel with 21%. That gives me enough time or enough power if we get to the hotel and they go, oh, hey, all the chargers are down or all the chargers are full. I have enough power to get over to the supercharger, charge up for a little bit, and then, head on. So let's get unplugged and get on the road. Bugs in Louisiana, you gotta love them. And they're everywhere. Big bugs, little bugs, all kinds of bugs. Okay, so we made it. No problem. We got about 19% left. Waiting here at the hotel for them to unlock the charger because apparently it's locked at night. Probably too many people trying to get free electricity. But yeah, so numbers on this trip. Let's go ahead and flip the camera around. Okay, so we have done 433 miles. We used 122 kilowatts of electricity and averaged 282 watts per mile. I'll put the number down below where it's miles per kilowatt. And yeah, good trip, no problems. Got here with 19%. Just like to charge it, plug up so I can go to the hotel room. Maintenance needs to get out here. Okay, bye. Okay, so we finally got plugged in. Kind of weird setup. I guess maintenance has the key to the bollards, and so they remove them, and your car kind of goes over them. But since maintenance is already left at 11 o'clock, I guess he removed the chain, and I kind of went through the middle of them. So kind of weird. Hopefully, my car's here in the morning. But we are charging. Pretty good charge session at that. We're looking at about 48 amps. So by the morning, I should have a full charge, no problem. And yeah, so spin this around. Yeah, so yeah, very good trip. Um, you know, a lot easier than the very first time I did this in a Tesla to Baton Rouge, and no problem. I mean, I only had to take over FSD a couple times. One of them was on the long bridge there. They were doing construction on the right hand lane. The car got over in the right lane. There wasn't enough time for it to get around the truck, so I went ahead and just took over from there. Got over and then re-engaged FSD. So yeah, I didn't have any major problem with FSD. The only problem I had was that, and when I would get off the exit and it would not really know what to do, and I just took over for the last half mile or quarter mile or whatever. But yeah, no problems. So yeah, we'll be here until Wednesday. It's Sunday night. I'm going to go up to the hotel, get some rest, get to work in the morning. I should have a full charge, and really shouldn't need to charge much uh, from where the hotel to the office is, and charge up a little bit at night. And when I leave in the morning or leave on Wednesday, I'll charge up to 90% just to get me a little extra length, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, until next time. So good morning. Hopefully you can hear me. The traffic is bad. We're right on the interstate, as you can tell. But yeah, we're about to head back. Just checked out the hotel here in Baton Rouge. I'm going to go to work for for several hours and then head back home. But I stayed the night, at the Crown Plaza here in Baton Rouge, and they've got a weird setup as far as their EV charging. Let me show you. So they've got these bollards in the chains here, and which again is no problem because they're trying to cut down on people not paying to use the EV charger. The weird thing is these don't come out of the ground; they actually just fold flat. And on the Model Y, that's not a problem. But if I had you know, I would have concern with this in my Model S when I had it, because who knows if the air suspension would lower down and cause you know, the battery to rest right on this bollard. Like I said, it's very, very weird. But I mean, when you get here, it's all chained up. You got to tell the person that's checking in to call maintenance to drop it down to lower the bollard. But anyway, good charger. They've got 4 Tesla chargers. They got 48 amps. No problem getting a full charge at night. So yeah, let's get on the road. Get to work. I've charged up to 90%. Whew, loud out there. I charged up to 90%. So by the time I leave around 2 o'clock, should drop down to probably about 85. It's hot outside. Air conditioner's going to go and keep the car cool, and I got to get to work. And but yeah, my plan is to go to Iowa, then to Baytown, and then back up to Austin, Round Rock. and that's the same route I did last time getting down here. I'm hoping I can make it with the same stops. But if I have to add one more, I just have to add one more because once you leave Houston, you're gaining elevation, and that's usually when we drop, some range. So anyway, let's get on the road. Okay, so done with work for today. Uh, we are heading home. Right now, it's saying we're going to stop in Iowa for about 8 minutes, then get to Beaumont, charge there for 22 minutes. I have a detour that we're going to first to eat, and then we're heading home. But it wants us to stop at Waller to charge that last time. Might change that here or there depending on where we need a charge. But anyway, we are heading home. Okay, so we are finally across the Texas border. Traffic wasn't too bad in Baton Rouge. Little traffic at the bridge. Once we got to the bridge, it was fine. Didn't hit any other traffic until we hit Lake Charles at the bridge. So, yeah, that took a little bit. But once we got halfway up the bridge and past the slow 18 wheelers, we were good. Got to the Texas-Louisiana border, got across the border, and we have been crawling across the first mile of Texas at about 5-6 miles per hour. And I don't think they're ever going to finish this construction. They were working on this back in 2017, 2016. They're always doing construction at the Texas-Louisiana border. It's like, come on, can you just go ahead and finish it? So, little update right now since we're just going slow. Trip, we have gone 661 miles. We are averaging about 292 watts per mile. So I think that's right around 3 kilowatts or 3 miles per kilowatt. So not bad. And I left Baton Rouge. It told me to stop in Iowa. I actually canceled that one and was going to stop in Sulphur with 12%, which would have been fine. But I went ahead and stopped at Iowa because I needed to use a restroom and get a snack. And I didn't videotape it because, well, I had to go really bad. So went inside, used the restroom, got a snack, came out. They actually had Dr. Peppers in a bottle. That was kind of cool. Glass bottle. And got back out. It said I could get to Beaumont with, 17%. So we said, yep, let's do that. And that's exactly what we're doing. So it looks like we got a stalled truck or something up here causing a problem. Not a stalled truck with a blown out tire. Okay, so we got to Beaumont with about 15%. Hit a little traffic in downtown Beaumont. Not a shocker. And so we're sitting here charging. It's just about done. Uh, so it actually, I put it in Waze and decided to go. Waze had me go down Highway 90 to Grand Parkway, go all the way around because there's some traffic on I-10. Checked the radar. There's a real big rain shower from Winnie all the way down to Baytown, and so probably someone spun out, caused an accident, caused delays, whatever. So we're going to go down 19 Highway 90, and while we're there, we're going to go ahead and go to one of our favorite restaurants called Uberito. It's like Freebirds or Chipotle. You make your own burrito or your bowl or whatever, but it's much better. Um, and there's 3 locations in the Houston area, one in Atascocita, one in Sugar Land, and one in uh, Cypress, Highway 1960 and 290. So if you're ever in the Houston area and you want some really good burrito bowls or burritos, I would go to Uberito before I go to any of the other ones. But anyway, not an advertisement for them, but that's what we're going to do. It's saying that we are done. We're going to go there, eat, and then go to Waller Supercharger and Bucky's. Charge there for saying about 16 minutes. Yeah, 15, 16 minutes. And, we'll have 16% by the time we get there, give or take. So let's get on the road. Okay, last charging stop. We are here at Bucky's in Waller. So far, we have gone. Let me turn my lights back on here. Let's go to trip. I tell you what, let me flip the camera around. Okay, we're going to go to trip. So far, we have done 817 miles, 238 kilowatts of energy used, and we're averaging 291 watts per mile, which again I think is right around 3 miles per kilowatt. So not the most efficient, but still very respectful. And we are at 71% right now, and we are still charging at 70 kilowatts, which my old Model S, yeah, we would have been on the basement floor right now, probably around 40. So we're going to unplug and head home. It says we have enough to get home with about, probably about 15% now. So let's go. We're home. Finally. Okay, we are finally home. It is 11:22. We left at 2:20 in Baton Rouge. So that took us 9 hours, which isn't bad because I took a 30-minute detour down to, Atascocita for Uberito. So, um, again, I don't think that's too bad. Last time I did it, it took me, 10 hours in the truck just because I hit a whole kinds of traffic. So, this wasn't too bad. So, final numbers. Let me turn this around. Okay, let's go to trip. We are looking at we did a total of 933 miles. We used 271 kilowatts. And we did an average of 290.9 watts per mile. That's not bad. So, very good trip there. You know, so anyway, I'm tired. It's been a long trip, long day. I'm going to go in and go to bed because, well, 5:30 gets, is really early in the morning, and that's usually what time I get up. Anyway, I'll probably close out of this video tomorrow during the daylight because it's dark and no one wants to see me, in this. So, until tomorrow. Okay, so we did get home, no problems. I know I didn't record a lot on the way back home, but that kind of happens, when I take long road trips. It's like I film a lot going there, but on the way back, it's like it's kind of the same footage, the same thing. I'm tired. I just want to get home, so I apologize for that. Anyway, car did great. FSD did great. Got pretty good efficiency, got pretty good range on it. Again, not what I was kind of hoping when I bought this compared to my Model S, but overall, I think it was, really good. The charging speed's way faster than my Model S is, so that made the trip a lot faster and a lot easier. So anyway, I appreciate you watching this long video. I know it's a long video, and please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm just having fun, documenting my car. So until next time.